Everybody, Invisiblekatana here, and unfortunately, today I am celebrating the life, which has unfortunately recently come to an end, of Gameinformer. So I have a stack of Gameinformers here. I got I think 6 or 7 of them. And there's 3, 6, I have 8 of them. I have 8 old Gameinformers still with me. And recently, obviously, if you haven't heard the news, 2 days ago, I believe at this point, well, by the time you guys see this, it'll probably be 3 days ago. It's August 4th for me, so depending on when this comes out, 2 or 3 days ago, Gameinformer ended. And as quick as that sentence was as quick as it ended, because it literally came out of nowhere, and GameStop basically was just like, yep, everybody's gone, you're fired. Like the news was that even one person was like on a business trip when they found out that everything just was shutting down. And it's crazy. It's like, man, Gameinformer has been around for 33 years. I didn't even know that until the news came out. I always thought, if you had asked me, I'd be like, it probably came out late 90s, early 2000s. That's kind of the range I just would have assumed, because at a certain point, you just aren't really in that realm. Like, you're playing the games, but it does take a certain time for you to learn like this avenue of gaming or this random thing that gives you behind the scenes looks. It takes time to build up to that. Like maybe you just don't know there's a magazine. You kind of have to figure things out on your own. So when you randomly walk, through the magazine portion of a grocery store, you're like, oh, that's a picture of a video game I have. And that's how you find out about Gameinformer. So it's just, especially back then. Obviously now it would be a little different. I was born in 1992. So for me, it was like you kind of just had to walk into a place and then poof, there's new video game stuff. Gameinformer was the one that did that. And there was, of course, the other ones. There's EGM, tips and tricks. I think everything is gone at this point. I mean, really everything is gone. Gameinformer was like the last one. The #1 video game magazine, the world's #1 video game magazine is what they have on there. And Gameinformer it was just the thing. Gameinformer was the one. Obviously, like I said, there were the others. There's tips and tricks, there's EGM. The consoles have their own specific magazines as well. But it was just that thing. For me, it was like Gameinformer. Gameinformer was like the all-encompassing one. Tips and tricks obviously was mostly for guides and things like that, but you still got to see cool stuff from video games. That's where, all the rumors hit and secrets and things like that. But Gameinformer was, hey, here's what's coming up. Here's our review of what just came out. Here's all of these different things and all of these different exclusive interviews, early looks, a lot of that stuff was Gameinformer. You have your channels, back in the day you had G4, game trailers, TV, stuff like that when I was on Spike TV back in the day. And well, that's really it, because G4 had like all, I was going to say Electric Playground, but that was on G4. But, you have like your couple of video game outlets. And then when it came to just being kind of just in the store, pre-internet being like a big thing, it was Gameinformer. And it blew my mind to find out that Gameinformer was even older than I was. At 31, Gameinformer is 33 years old. Gameinformer, being 33 years old, is older than Mortal Kombat as a franchise. It's older than Mortal Kombat. Resident Evil, if you like Aladdin, is older than Aladdin. It's older than a lot of things because it's 33 years old. And I thought that was crazy. I was like, holy crap. Gameinformer is older than some of the most famous video game franchises on the planet. It came out before that stuff. And I just had no idea. I never realized it was that old. So it's very unfortunate that things have ended up the way that they have, where it kind of just, out of nowhere, just, shut down at the last minute. And it's one of those things where it's like, you think about it, like I've had these for a minute and I'll be showing these off, of course. This first one, I'll let you guys know it's XCOM. Got that one right there. But XCOM off the top here. And it was just like, it's one of those things where I've looked at these a bunch and it was just like, they're kind of taking up space. Do I really care that much? My mom always says I'm a hoarder. I keep like a lot of my nerdy stuff. It was just like, Gameinformer. But I have to keep them now. It just makes sense to kind of keep that little bit a part of gaming history. This even has like this little piece in the corner here. It's Mass Effect 3. First look. Yeah, the first 6 hours on page 66. So, and this is from 2011, the top 5 games of 2011. So that's where this is from. Or actually, this is from September 2012. Maybe, I don't know. That says like expiration, so I think that's just for my subscription and stuff. Sims 3 Showtime is in here. Battleship. Ooh, Battleship. That's battle on all fronts. I never saw the movie, but I didn't need to. But they made a game based off of that. What a choice. The first Ni no Kuni, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater HD. Like, that's the stuff that's in here. So, it's Gameinformer. It is, man, it's a classic part of just gaming history in general. And it's very fascinating to see that it's like just a big thing that's gone. It's kind of like when G4 first disappeared. It's like, man, I can't believe G4 is gone. Unfortunately, it didn't have much of a run the second time around. And, that really hurt my feelings too. Cause I was like, man, I felt good to have G4. It just felt good. But Game Informer was just like that weird last vestige of just being like, hey, back in the day, old school Game Informer. Also, if you try to steal the address that you happen to see on the back, if I flip it the wrong way, it's an old address, so you won't find me. But here we go. Also, the numbers for these, I have these in order. I'm missing like one, but I have number 226, 227, 28, 29, and then it skips to, oh, actually, no, I do have 230. I have them in the wrong order. I have 230, 232. I have two 232, so that must be different years, or I have the same issue. You know what? This is the E3 thing, so I think they put out like 6 copies of this one, and they all have like it were like variant covers, like a comic book. So I have 2 of the 232s, and then I have 233, which has Army of Two: The Devil's Cartel, which I believe was the second Army of Two game. But crazy times to see this all gone away. You know, the early images. Look at that. It's art. You know, it was one of the things with Game Informer. Like, actually, like, you know, as a nerd who was into art, it was always kind of cool to see the images. Good lord. Favorite franchise, but not my favorite game. It's not the worst game. It's definitely not the worst. If you played the what was the Umbrella Chronicles, or not Umbrella Chronicles, that's great. Umbrella Corps. Operation Raccoon City gets too much hate. It wasn't that bad. Soul Calibur 5, 8.5. The Darkness 2, 7.5. Good time. Unit 13. Do you guys remember that game? Because I sure don't. Kid Icarus Uprising. Resident Evil 6. I teared up when I first saw the trailer for this. I didn't tear up so much while playing the game. I also don't hate it as much as other people do. It gets a bad rap. It's not as bad as people say. Personal opinion. Personal opinion. It has some of the best stuff in Resident Evil. I'll die on that hill. The infection level for Resident Evil 6 on Leon's campaign, one of the best moments in all of Resident Evil, hands down. Assassin's Creed. Look at this. This is just simple. I actually have the steelbook for this. I think it's the exact same image. This is the image on like the steelbook, and then there's Washington, I would assume, on the back there. But like just the art and this stuff, like you just get a cool one. Got a little. I could actually use that card, I think. Or maybe it's just a fake one. No, it's got the arrow and everything. I could use this card for real. That's actually in there. Kid Icarus Uprising. It's a picture of Bayonetta. I love Bayonetta. All the Assassin's Creed 3 stuff. Hitman Absolution is in here. Dota 2. Total War. Shogun 2. Like just old games. Syndicate. 8 out of 10. SSX, the PS3 version. 7.75 out of 10. Remember that era of games where it was like, hey, we're EA. Extreme assholes. We're gonna make you pay for online. If you buy it used, pay again. I'm glad that was one of the few things I think we actually made happen, where it was like, shut that crap down, and we did it. Wow, Gotham City's City Imposters. 8 out of 10. Got an 8 out of 10. Silent Hill Downpour, 7. Grand Slam Tennis 2, 8. Good times. Random things I'm gonna be reading off here as we go through these, but crazy times. And I miss Game Informer. I'm gonna miss it for sure. This is Halo. I assume this is for Halo Infinite. Like this is May 2012. I realized I was showing the old address, but like I said, it's an old address. There's nothing to find. Armored Core 5, 6.5. Not great. Mass Effect 3, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. That's what I thought too when I first beat that game, and then I realized why everybody hated the ending. I was like, I don't know what people are talking about. This is great. It was just like the other ones. And I was like, it's just all the colors. I did not know. I didn't know when I first beat it. I just thought it was the same. I was like, I don't get it. It's great. RE6 E3 Hot 50 featuring Resident Evil 6, Call of Duty Black Ops 2, Pikmin 3, God of War Ascension, Tomb Raider, the first. Man, remember when they did there's gonna be a lot of nostalgia crap coming out. This is actually from the E3 stuff, so that was when they like first premiered it. But remember when that first came out and everybody was like, man, if you turn off the visuals and it's just her grunting falling down this hill, sounds a little bit different. Sounds a little bit different. That was also the era of Watch Dogs. Remember that one? That was a whole story. See, little stuff like that. It trips through nostalgia. Like, wow, remember the funny jokes we had? Dead Space 3. I just hurt my feelings even seeing that. So many, like, I got hurt by that, and then they were like, hey, we're bringing back Dead Space, and it was like a beautiful remake on par with like the Resident Evil 1 remake, like one of the greatest remakes of all time. the Dead Space remake was just as good. It was like, you don't even have to play the original because that's how good the remake is. You would play it just because there's technical differences in it, like story-wise, because they combine some things and just flesh out the universe because of what came after the first game. So it's like, well, now we know this stuff, we can include it in the first game. Perfect remake. And then EA was like, yeah, we're gonna shift them over to whatever game they I don't know if EA is Call of Duty or if they were Battlefield. All the companies that just, that's all they do is like, you know, that big shooter game we got, what if we put everyone on that instead of anything new? And so now Dead Space is dead again. I'll just, my feelings are hurt just thinking about that now. It's like, man, Prototype 2, 8.5 out of 10. Same score for Dragon's Dogma. I will let you debate that on your own time, but Dragon's Dogma got the same score as Prototype 2. Take that as you will. There's some Lego Batman 2, DC superheroes, little silly stuff here. Man. Time long since passed. Random things. This admittedly was one of my favorite parts of looking through old game magazines, where it's like, here's this like crazy video game thing that's coming out, you know, tech wise. I used to like that a lot. That used to be really fun. Sadly, that era is gone. No more Gameinformer. No more random things. Look at that. That's design right there. You got to design magazines to make stuff that cool. That's work. Crazy. Then we have Injustice 2. Ooh, I really love the back of this one. This one's sick. Injustice 2, pretty decent game. I enjoyed that. Ooh, Transformers Fall of Cybertron. Another thing that has been left in time. They should really bring those back. Those were beautiful games. If you never played those, find a way to play them. War for Cybertron and then Fall of Cybertron. I think they're the best ones. I don't know. It's hard to rank them because Transformers Devastation is definitely up there as one of the greatest Transformers games ever made. And I wish that one got a sequel, and that, you know, another thing that hurt my feelings. Got some stuff for Beyond Two Souls. I think more God of War Ascension. I'm pretty sure that has to be yeah, more God of War Ascension. Gears of War Judgment. Good times. Lollipop Chainsaw. With the remake coming out, that's very appropriate. 7.5 out of 10. I really like that game. Spec Ops: The Line got 7.75 out of 10. That game's a 10 out of 10 as far as I'm concerned. At least for one playthrough, I love that game. The story for that, oh, that one really got to me. I love Spec Ops. I was like, this is good. Just, it's the Heart of Darkness, just in video game form, but I really like that. Quantum Conundrum, 8.5 out of 10. I don't know if anyone remembers this, but I remember this being like a huge thing as far as like one of those like great puzzle games when that came out. Crazy little flashback to that one. And then lastly, we have this one right here. Army of Two. I played the first game and maybe a demo of the second one. Oh, here's a little clip for an ad for Dishonored. Love that game. Dishonored 2 is October 9th, 2012. That was like right after my birthday. Epic Mickey 2, The Power of Two. Saints Row the Third is up in here. This is some ranking of something. Oh, top 30 co-op games of all time. Let's go backwards. Because I assume that this is in order, so we will go backwards. So from 30, these are the, according to the, let's see, what was this? I guess if the last one was June or whatever it was, whatever month it was, this is this one for issue 233 of Gameinformer magazine, the top 30 co-op games of all time. Number 30, Resident Evil 5. Number 29, Streets of Rage 2. Number 28, House of the Dead 2. Love that game. I also love, I like Resident Evil 5. Number 27, Gunstar Heroes. 26, Smash TV. Journey is at 25. That's interesting. We have 24 is New Super Mario Bros. Wii. 23, Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 2. Oh, that's why Saints Row is here. Number 22 is actually Saints Row the Third. That's actually pretty interesting. It is a fun game to play. 21, Gauntlet, the classic 1985 Gauntlet. Then you have Castle Crashers at 20. I think I played a demo of that once. As insanely popular as that game is, it was probably on RIP to Xbox Live on 360, or the Xbox Marketplace on 360, but it was on there all the time. Like, hey, Castle Crashers is one of the most famous things we got. Never played it. Played like a demo, and that was really it. At number 19, we have Rainbow Six Vegas. I love Rainbow Six Vegas 2. 18 is Little Big Planet. 17, Double Dragon. 16 is Crackdown, which I forgot even had multiplayer, which is utterly insane, but I love Crackdown 1, and I never owned the second or the third game, but I always wanted to. 15 is Minecraft. 14 is Team Fortress, the very first one. 13, Battlefield 2. Then we have Lego Star Wars 3, The Clone Wars, which is, it's odd that it's Lego Star Wars 3 and it's The Clone Wars, but that's number 12. What the heck was Lego Star Wars 2? We have Gears of War 2 at number 11. Number 10, the first Borderlands. That's fascinating. Number 9, World of Warcraft, which I can't believe that wouldn't be higher, but at the same time, I can kind of get it. But it's literally an MMO. It's almost crazy that it's not. Number 8, one of the best, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 4. They don't have the 4 here, but it's 4. Turtles in Time. Favorite Ninja Turtle game, favorite Super Nintendo game. Turtles in Time. It's somewhere in here. I have it somewhere. I have my Turtles in Time for my NES, my SNES. Number 7, Diablo 2. Number 6, NBA Jam. Another great. He's on fire. Number 5, we have Portal 2. Number 4, Halo Combat Evolved. Number 3, we have the first Rock Band. Number 2, we have Contra. And the number 1 game, co-op game, specifically, of all time, Left 4 Dead 1. Left 4 Dead 1. Good time. And people are still playing to this day. It is a great game with mods. I absolutely have a fantastic time with all the anime mods and character swaps and all that good stuff. It's very funny. I love the super strength mod, and you just hit somebody with a katana or a bat and they just fly across the map. Mods in Left 4 Dead are super fun, super fun. But that was a final journey for me, at least, through Gameinformer, the little bit that I have. I know people are archiving things as far as old data. I don't know how easy or how difficult it's going to be, considering they were like, hey, we're shutting this down, and then they just killed the entire website, which is super effed up, because it's like, I mean, were they paying the people at Gameinformer based on the ads that were on the Gameinformer website anyway? Because I assume that's the only thing I can think of as to why they would instantaneously shut it down. Like, hey, we're firing all of you, and then we have to kill the website, because like even 1 penny, we have to find out how to distribute that, and we're not going to waste our time. So that's the only thing I can think of as to why they would really do that, because otherwise it's like, hey, people are going to care about this. Not that you care, because I mean, we've seen what's been happening with GameStop as it is for a long time. They had Reggie Fils-Aimé come in, and he left because they were fucking up. You had, like, honestly, and all things considered, Reggie Fils-Aimé came in to help you. You were good. I think he knows what he's doing. I think he would have known how to help GameStop out, and he had to take off because they were like, you don't know that much, Reggie Fils-Aimé. It's like, I think the man is ready in all aspects. I think he knew what he was doing. So they just didn't care. And it is what it is. And this is where we are, unfortunately, at the end of all things Gameinformer. And like I said, hopefully, it's, I'm sure it's easier said than done, but hopefully we get some good stuff as far as things that are being chronicled, more recent things. But sadly, it's gone. I believe the last Gameinformer is, oh god, was for the new Dragon Age, I believe is what I heard. So that'll be like the last one that actually comes out, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to want to pick that one up. I'm not sure how hard that's going to be, but I do think I'd like to, just because Gameinformer is just an important piece of gaming history, and it would be nice to have like the final Gameinformer. I technically have some pro thing whatever from GameStop, which I'm sure at this point, I'm sure that doesn't actually include getting Gameinformer monthly anymore. It did at one point where if you got the pro thing, it was like, hey, you got like the monthly thing or whatever. But I think they've years ago, I'm sure they split that off to be like, no, if you want Gameinformer, it's like an extra whatever. Because I think that's how I even got these, because I ended up getting like a membership, and it was like, hey, here's your stuff. And I still remember they didn't send me one of them. That's probably why I'm missing like my 231 or whatever. There was one I remember, I was like, they never sent me my thing, and I was like, I don't really care that much to be like wasting all my time trying to figure that out. But sadly, Gameinformer is gone, and that's just crazy. It's like another big gaming thing that is just gone. And I'm sure there are a lot of people who it doesn't. If I think it affects kind of older people like myself, as far as having that history and just being like, oh, you're just walking through the store, growing up in the age of the internet becoming what it is now. That's kind of where my generation lies, where it's like we had like the first branch of things where it was like, hey, paperback, like, the news is still in, hear ye, pick up some papers. But now you don't really have that. I haven't looked at Gameinformer in who knows how long because of that element, really. And I don't think they're really in stores either. Also, I'm not going through the magazine areas. I'm not as young anymore. Now when I go somewhere, I was like, I'm getting what I need and I leave instantaneously. When you're with your parents, they take forever. I think we all know how that goes. Somehow your parents always take longer than you do. Trust me, you'll be in and out. Somehow your parents took five times longer. But now I never look for it anyway. So even if it is in there, maybe I'll check, go to my local Walmart and see if there's like a Gameinformer just sitting there. I don't think they are though, but either way, we're coming to an end. We got I guess technically one more month to go with this last issue coming out, and then that is it. Gameinformer is gone. So it is an unfortunate time in the gaming industry. It's been bad in general. Like, we've had a lot of game developers getting laid off like crazy, like a whole lot of issues, the Bungie stuff that recently came up. So it's been real bad like the last couple of years, in all honesty, with so many people being laid off and just the industry hitting some rough times, and just on people losing jobs, and then just the issues we've been dealing with as far as like, hey, are we gonna, where is like gaming trending, and younger people kind of being the market, pushing things, hero shooters, and everyone being like, hey, we're gonna do live service. That's great, right? I don't think, I feel like so few people actually want live service compared to how hard they're pushing it. So hopefully we're in this little section of an unfortunate fad, and we'll just move on to the next one. Maybe, and I was thinking of this yesterday, I highly doubt this will ever happen, but maybe the next beautiful fad in gaming will be, if you make a sequel 10 years later, you just give us the old game for free. That's not gonna happen, but it should. That should be the next fad in gaming. If you make a sequel 10 years later, give everybody the first game for free. That's what you should do. Beyond Good and Evil 2. Just saying. They won't do it because they just did that remaster. They'll be like, well, we can't put it for free. We did a whole remaster. Okay. So we'll see what happens. But all in all, RIP to Gameinformer. Definitely a huge part of just the gaming world as a whole. Good art, good work, good exclusives, good reviews. Sadly, it is gone, but it will always be remembered. So I would love to know your thoughts on all things Gameinformer, the end, just the lineage of Gameinformer. What are some of your favorite issues that you guys can remember, as far as, even if it was just like the cover that kind of caught your attention? You like, I really like this one. I think this might be my favorite that I have, just because the Gameinformer is gold at the top and all of the other ones are exactly the same. Like the Assassin's Creed one has the eye in red. That's actually a cool feature. I didn't realize that till just now, like that's what the thing was. And actually, so there's the Halo. The Halo has it in gold. So it's like, okay, they have little stuff. So the eye is always different. I guess that's always been the thing, because I see it in like the different colors here. Okay, so maybe it's that, but they went all gold. All gold for this one. So this one, it still might be my favorite design. I like the little pop of the gold. So if you have like a favorite cover, definitely let me know. That way I can, probably Google it, at least see the cover art and stuff like that. So definitely share that if you have like, your favorite cover arts, or just things that always stood out to you. I think we all, or most of us at least, if you're in my age range, 30 up, and maybe mid-20s, so mid to early 20s, probably have that same little bit of experience where it's like, hey, Gameinformer, that magazine where you can just pick up and be like, oh, cool. Let me scroll through this for free because I'm not buying it. And just like, oh, video game stuff. I think I just saw a lightsaber, actually. I did. What is this? Oh, Star Wars The Old Republic. Cool. Gameinformer. You can find anything. So thanks for checking this out. Like I said, want to know your thoughts on all things Gameinformer, so please put your comments down in the comment section below. And of course, thanks for watching.